Today I'm going to show you how to make bruschetta with feta. Hi, welcome to the Daddykirbs kitchen. I am very excited to share this recipe with you today in collaboration with the popular and growing quickly Facebook group Frugal Family Food. I was invited to do this collaboration video for the Frugal Family Food group by Tangi the Caver's wife and Amanda at the Fundamental Home. Their group focuses on shopping tips, recipes, and other ways to help you feed your family well on a budget. Every month, this collaboration has a different theme, and for this month, the theme is tomatoes. And I thought I would share a very simple but tasty recipe using tomatoes and basil that I harvested from my own garden. We're going to be making a very simple bruschetta that we can serve on toasted bread. Keep in mind that Daddykirbs is normally out in the garden or on the homestead, so this is going to be a really simple, easy to follow recipe since I'm not well accustomed to being in the kitchen. The bruschetta topping that we're going to make with the tomatoes and garlic and basil is going to be served on top of toasted bread. So we're going to get our bread prepared and put in the oven so that can be cooking while we make our topping. I'm choosing for this recipe today for me to use a gluten-free bread. This is just a gluten-free bread that I prefer from the grocery store. You can use any type of bread, baguette, or any fancy bread that you like for this recipe when you make it at home. We're going to use a little bit of butter melted and spread on the bread. While that's melting, I can arrange my bread on the pan and even cut it into the smaller pieces that we're going to serve while the bread is soft. We're cutting our bread while it's cold so that we don't have to cut it up after it's all crunchy and brittle and toasted. Our butter should be ready. And we're just going to use our oil brush and lightly coat the tops. Once this is sufficiently buttered up, we're going to place it into an oven that is preheated to 450 degrees. We're bringing a pot of water to boil so that we can blanch our tomatoes. Don't let the term blanching scare you. It's just a process of dipping in boiling water and then cooling it off quickly in ice water. While we're waiting for the water to boil, let's go ahead and take the stems off of these tomatoes. We're also going to make a cut in the tomatoes to make the skin come off easier after it's blanched. Turn the tomato upside down and just do a little cross cut on the end of the tomato. The water's boiling, so we're going to bring our tomatoes over. We're just going to drop them in the boiling water. The tomatoes are going to be in the water for 1 to 2 minutes. Now that the tomatoes have been in the boiling water for about 2 minutes, we're just going to drop them straight into ice cold water. That's going to stop the cooking process and help loosen up the skin on that tomato. Now hopefully this skin peels right off. Oh yeah, look at that. Nice. I probably should have went ahead and cut the tops out. I'll just slide it off. Beautiful. Now that your tomatoes all beautifully peeled, we're going to set this aside. We're going to feed that to the chickens later. I almost forgot about our bread. Perfect. We'll just set it over here and let it cool while we continue to prepare the bruschetta topping. To further prepare the tomatoes, we're going to quarter them. Now this part's kind of fun. We're just going to squeeze out the liquid and the seeds. It's not critical, but it does make for a nicer, more firm bruschetta topping. It might be easier to work with the sweet basil that has larger leaves, but what I have growing right now out in my garden is the Thai basil. A very delicious basil, but it is smaller leaves and slightly harder to work with. If I were using a larger leafed basil like the sweet basil, it's really convenient because you can stack them up and roll them up and then slice them real thin. but since these are already small leaves, I'm just going to chop them on the cutting board. We're going to go ahead and pour off a little bit more liquid off the tomatoes, and then cut them up a little smaller on another cutting board here. Make your tomatoes as small or as chunky as you like. I like mine kind of a medium chunky. We'll go ahead and add our basil. Now we'll get a little bit of garlic ready to go into the mix. We'll do 3 cloves. I like to cut the ends off the garlic first, and then I squash it under the blade of the knife and peel off the paper. And that leaves me with a very nice crushed piece of garlic. And I'm just going to cut it into smaller bits. Once your garlic is to the size of your liking, you can just add it to the ingredients. Now I'm just going to be mixing this up with a fork just to get all those flavors starting to mix in well together. Salt is going to add flavor, and it's also going to help break down the fibers of those ingredients in there and help them blend well together. And I'm just using a pinch. And one last ingredient. I'll be adding 2 tablespoons of olive oil, or in this case it is actually avocado oil, but either one will work just fine. Now you do want your friends to think this is fancy and a lot harder than it is, so let's put all these on some fancy plates, as fancy as we get here, and get our bruschetta topping in a serving bowl. When you serve your bruschetta, you need to serve the toast and the topping separately because you don't want to get them soggy. If you do serve them pre-prepared, make sure you prepare them right before everyone gets a chance to eat them. Otherwise, you can just place the toast and the toppings on the table and let everyone serve themselves. I like to put a nice little dab on the toast and a little sprinkle of feta. And yum. The taste of sweet homegrown tomatoes with the feta and the basil and the oil, it doesn't get much better than that. Or much messier. Thank you, Tangi and Amanda, for inviting me to do this collaboration. It really was a lot of fun and it tastes wonderful. I hope that you and your viewers and the group enjoy the recipe and you get to make this for yourself at home. I would like to invite you to check out the link below to the Frugal Family Food group, and also if you have not subscribed to Tangi and Amanda, go check out their channels. Subscribe to the Daddykirbs Farm and give me a thumbs up. The thumbs up lets YouTube know that you appreciate what's going on here on the Daddykirbs Farm. I'll talk to you soon. Did you get that on video? Sweet. Focuses on shopping tips, recipes, and feed your family well on a budget. Okay, you ready? Their Facebook group focuses on shopping, shopping tips, recipes, and other ways to help you feed your family well on a budget. We are blanching our tomatoes, so we're going to get this water boiling to get that step done. That sounded really stupid. Who cares? That's actually really, really good.